Welcome to South Korea and to the stunning island of Jeju, situated just off Korea's southern coast. It's this picturesque location that would host the penultimate event on the International Judo Federation's 2015 World Tour. Ranking points for Olympic qualification are now at a premium, and the entry in Jeju was enormous as fighters had come from all over the world. The home nation Korea has a rich judo heritage, and in action would be some of the country's top superstars. Last week, the Asian leg of the World Tour kicked off in China's Qingdao, which was a great warm-up for Jeju and also the Tokyo Grand Slam next week. In action there was the legendary Teddy Riner, whose position on top of the podium came as no surprise. And judo's biggest superstar would also be in action here in Jeju, giving world judo fans another glimpse of the most decorated athlete in the sport's history. We start with the men's under 81 kilogram category, which saw some great action in its medal matches. First up, Korea's Lee took on Livesey of Great Britain with a bronze on the line. Lee has the sleeve. Livesey got to get out of there, and he does. He snaps it off. Now Lee has his grips, got the inside grip. Look at that, trying to create space, ready for the drop. Oh, brilliant stuff! What a brilliant Seonagi that was. Livesey goes over the top, and how appreciated was that from the crowd? As soon as he had the lapel, he just created the space, and he disappeared underneath Livesey. Beautifully executed Seonagi, flat on his back for Ippon. The Koreans so good at dominating the inside grip and then getting deep right the way between the legs. And look at the push he gets off the legs to drive Livesey onto his back. The final would see Russia's world number 12, Kalamazeyev, taking on the little-known Japanese youngster, Sato. Would these two live up to Lee's spectacular bronze medal winning performance? Well, Kalamazeyev, extreme left-handed. Look at that, Sato underneath now. Oh, there it is, the reverse Seonagi. Wasn't that a score? Didn't give it straight away. Seemed to come off onto his side there, Kalamazeyev. I thought it was a Yuko. Yes, Yuko given. So now Kalamazeyev has to come back. Right the way between the legs this time. And again, does the referee give it? Again, I thought that Kalamazeyev landed on his side. So yes, another Yuko given. Two Yukos then to Sato. Brilliant judo from Sato. Kalamazeyev has got to take the initiative. Oh, it's all over! Soni Surikumi Goshi there. Sato underneath him. And he finishes it off completely. Kalamazeyev couldn't stop it. Look how deep he comes there. Look at the drive he gets. He gets elevation as well. And he controls it right the way down. Kalamazeyev absolutely taken apart by Sato. Brilliant judo there by the young Japanese. And that is a well-deserved gold medal for him. Right the way between the legs. Look at the control of the sleeves. It begins in, it goes out. It makes no difference. It is the gold medal for Sato. In the lightest female category of under 48 kilograms, the final was contested between Cernovitsky of Hungary and Kazakhstan's Galbadrak. It would be Galbadrak taking gold after two Yuko scores gave her the ascendancy in the match. A great win for the Kazakh, who moved from 34 to 23 in the world rankings. Up one weight at under 52 kilograms, the world number 1 Kitsu bolstered her position at the top of the ranking list with a win in Jeju. The Romanian dispatched Japan's Uchiho in the final with a lightning-fast foot sweep for Ippon. A great day's work for Kitsu. At under 57 kilograms, there was a goal for the home crowd to celebrate as Kim Jan-di came through the pack to top the podium. Her opponent in the final was Great Britain's Smith Davis. A driving hip throw from Kim scored her a Yuko, which would ultimately be enough to decide the bout in her favour. The win moved Kim up to world number 5 in the rankings. The under 63 kilos category gave judo fans an opportunity to see France's dynamic world number 2, Agbeg Nanu, in action. The former world champion made short work of her opposition in the eliminations. First to go, Turkey's Katipoglu. After seeing off Spain's Push, Agbeg Nanu went on to set up a final with Italy's world number 9, Gwend. A tight contest in which Agbeg Nanu would not land a killer blow. Nevertheless, saw her emerge victorious through penalty points incurred by Gwend. Another medal for Agbeg Nanu's fast collection, as she made up some ground on the world number 1 Trisignac in the rankings. Moving back to the men, the under 60 kilos category saw the first member of a star-studded Korean team in action, in the form of Kim Won-jin. World number 1 was on good form on home turf and showed great skills on his way to the final. First on the ground, then from standing with this fantastic foot sweep. It set up a final with the world number 2 and former world champion Gambat of Mongolia. In a thrilling contest, Kim found himself behind after Gambat scored a Wazari. But the Korean bounced back, digging deep to drive through an attack and score a Wazari of his own to level the match. The decisive moment would be a penalty to Gambat, which would go on to separate the two as Kim emerged victorious, passing the baton to his Korean teammates in other weight divisions. The under 66 kilos category was taken by Russia's world number 4 Palayev, seeing him move up to number 2. A Yuko score for the Russian against Japan's Fujisaka in the final was enough to get the job done and earn Palayev a well-deserved gold medal. The under 73 kilos category saw Korea's most exciting young talent in action. World number 2, An Changrim, sits in the shadow of the sensational world champion Ono of Japan, but is nevertheless a wonderful prospect, showcasing some truly beautiful judo. His performance in Jeju did not disappoint, as he made the final in typical dynamic fashion. After a casually executed Sorisura Komigoshi scored Ippon against Chain of France at the quarterfinal stage. It was a dropping shoulder throw for a Yuko, which helped him defeat Russia's Mogoskov in the semi-finals. And making full use of home advantage in Jeju. His opponent in the final would be Belgium's Van Tikkelt, himself a great technician, as Portugal's Saraiva found out when he was on the wrong end of this snappy Taitoshi. Van Tikkelt then caused an upset when he defeated the world number 1 Orozhov to book his place in the final after catching the Azerbaijani in a pin and holding for Ippon. But how would Van Tikkelt fare against the brilliance of An in the final? Well, so much support here for An Changrim. Van Tikkelt knows he's got a hard job here, but he's been on good form all day, Van Tikkelt. Trying to dominate the head. Got a great Shiranagi and... Look at that! Oh, he's got a great Kouchi as well! Oh, that was perfectly executed. He just latches onto the inside of the foot and drives off the back leg. And Van Tikkelt could do nothing about it. Well, he uses it a lot to set up his Shiranagi, but he didn't need it then. That was brilliant. Look how he just skips across, catches the foot, and again drives off the back leg and he controls it with the hands. He just directs it with the direction hand and the lapel hand and the sleeve hand, and it was sheer brilliance. Van Tikelt landed cleanly on his back. Third place in the World Championships and Changrim, but, well, he's going to be a major contender this time next year at the Olympic Games. This Korean team just becoming so strong, just at the right time, ready for the Olympic Games next year. At under 90 kilograms, another of Korea's world-beating men was in action. The reigning world champion GWAK was one of the 2 surprise gold medals for Korea at the World Championships in Astana. After his last outing in Tashkent ended with a shock defeat, the pressure was on for GWAK to get a win on home soil to show the world he is no fluke world champion. A reserved and tactical GWAK did just enough to win in each of his elimination contests, showing only brief glances of his undoubted throwing pedigree. In the final, he met Clerget of France, who was having the day of his life, defeating European champion Denisov en route to a showdown with GWAK. With his family supporting him in the crowd, GWAK earned a slender Yuko lead with a trademark dropping attack. As Clerget pushed forwards, GWAK was waiting to extend his lead by this spectacular Wazari. He then held on to secure the win and exercised the demons of Tashkent. A relieved GWAK once again able to salute his anthem and watch his flag raised highest in Jeju. Next up for Korea at under 100 kilograms was CHO. The winner from Jeju and Tokyo last year, he would have a tough semi-final in store against Olympic champion Kurbalayev of Russia. Slowly getting back to his best, a gold medal at the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam has galvanized the Russian powerhouse, who displayed great throwing finesse throughout the day. This drop shoulder throw against Japan's Sakamoto, setting up a mouth-watering semi-final with CHO. But CHO is a canny opponent, as Kurbalayev learned when he was caught by a moment of trickery. A Korean speciality, the reverse seoinage ending his gold medal hopes. Up against CHO in the final was Cuba's Armenteros, whose throwing skills had impressed all day. Not least when he used them to defeat Azerbaijan's world number 2 Gazimov in the other semi-final. With the final set, Gazimov would pick himself up to fight for bronze. So Sakamoto, left-handed, looking for the Ashiwaza. Gazimov, oh, look at that! Oh, wow! What a technique that was! Well, that was a mixture, I think, between Yoko Gaki and Tadeo Tosh. Absolute brilliance there. The hand control there from Gazimov. Look at the hands. Place him onto his back. And that was sheer brilliance. Sakamoto didn't stand a chance. He did. He blocks the leg. And then he takes him over with pure hand movement. And he buries him onto his back for the biggest ippon. And the world number 2 shows his consistency yet again. After a sensational warm-up act, it was time for CHO to face Armenteros in the final. Well, CHO trying to catch the sleeve, or is he? Oh, no, he didn't need to! Oh, he goes the other way, the reverse seoinage, and he indicates to his teammates there in the audience. That was brilliant. Well, he didn't really want that sleeve grip, and that's why. He wanted to go the other way, he wanted to reverse it. Both hands were on the same lapel, and he disappears underneath. There he goes. Didn't really want that. He wanted the same lapel, and he takes Armenteros off the other shoulder, cleanly onto his back to win the gold medal. CHO surprises his opponent, and well, it wasn't the heaviest landed, but he did land with a thud. it was given Ippon, and CHO wins the gold medal for Korea, and this Korean team are on the march. A great bit of trickery from CHO.
I've watched lots of videos of him fighting, and I've studied his posture. I thought that Seoinagi would work on him, and it turned out well. I think our Korean team worked way harder than any other team, so it's no wonder that we're getting good results. We also have very good coaches, which makes a big difference for me.
In the women's under 70 kilos category, there was a well-deserved gold for Conway of Great Britain. Her groundwork skills continue to impress, and in Jeju they served her well as she pinned Russia's Krukova before facing off against Korea's Hwang at the semi-final stage. There, Conway's ruthless persistence on the deck paid off as she was able to secure an arm lock and gain a submission from Hwang to book a place in the final. Great work from Conway as she looked to build on her improving results over the last few years. Hwang's teammate Kim was almost added to the list of Conway's groundwork victims in the final, as she narrowly avoided being arm-locked as well. It would be a penalty point to Kim that would see Conway emerge victorious, as she took a boost both in the rankings and in her confidence going into the Tokyo Grand Slam next week.
It fills me with confidence just knowing that I can win these big matches against these top players. So I'll just be going to Tokyo trying to perform to my best ability and come away with another medal. That would be nice to finish off the year.
At under 78 kilograms, there were high hopes for a dream final as France's former world champion and world number 2 Chimeo stormed through her side of the draw to make the final. Her opponent there would be the world number 1 Harrison of the USA, who defeated Gibbons of Great Britain in her semi-final matchup. However, in doing so, Harrison picked up a niggling injury, which would unfortunately rule her out of the final with Chimeo. Disappointment for World Judo fans, as Chimeo was crowned champion by default. In the heaviest female weight of over 78 kilograms, there was a debut World Tour gold for Japanese youngster Asahina. A huge attack with Oguruma scored Asahina's a yuko. But more importantly, landed her on top in a pin, which she would maintain for 20 seconds to score Ippon and take the gold medal in Jeju. At just 19 years of age, Asahina will be hoping it's the first of many. The over 100 kilos category saw the entry of judo's biggest superstar, France's Teddy Riner. The iconic Riner took a record-breaking 8th world title earlier this year in Astana after he demolished the field before defeating Japan's Shinshinui in the final. It made Riner the most decorated judoka of all time, and at the age of 26, he has already gained legendary status. Now his sights are set on next year's Olympic Games, and last week in Qingdao he strengthened his position at the top of the world ranking list by beating Korea's Kim Sung-min to win a gold medal, albeit in somewhat sluggish fashion. In Jeju, Riner was looking not just to win, but to do so in more convincing fashion. And in his opening contest, he looked to be on the right track. A thunderous Uchimata scoring him Ippon in his opening contest. Next up for the mighty Frenchman was Mexico's Cuevas. And Osodagari from Riner scored a Wasari, extending his opponent's competition for another 30 seconds before this time Riner was on the mark with an ippon from Ouchigari. Riner was settling into his stride. But in his next contest, Dutchman Meyer was throwing caution to the wind, piling pressure on Riner and earning a slender lead on penalties. But as the bout progressed, Riner began to dominate. His Uchimata scored him 2 yukos as he slowly gained the ascendancy. Then an exhausted Meyer left his net exposed for just an instant, allowing Riner to snake his hand underneath and apply a strangle from which Meyer was forced to submit. Riner was through to the final. For the second time in 2 weeks, his opponent would be Kim, who was making home advantage count as he easily made the final. It would be the 9th time the pair have met each other, with Riner currently leading 8-0. Could Kim somehow find an answer for Riner's unparalleled dominance? Well, Riner still trying to get that big arm over the top. Kim defending to the Uchimata and to the Osoto. He knows they're going to come. There's the Osoto! Oh, how close was that? That's why he's defending to them. So now, well, all the advice in the world. Can it help him? Well, he really needs to attack the other side, Riner. Big arm over the top. Can he set him up again? Oh! That was absolutely brilliant! Sasai Tsurukumiyashi, and that was over the other flank. He was defending so hard to the Uchimata and to the Osodagari. Look at the change, look at the prop, and then the hands do the rest. He just rolls him over that foot, and he absolutely buries him. He was a little bit disappointed in last week's competition in Qingdao. He wanted it to be better. That, without a doubt, was better. It was dynamic. It was classical. He props the leg, he gets the rotation, and Kim goes flat on his back for the biggest ippon that you could see.
It's true, last week was a bit harder for me. It was hard to get going. I was a bit tired, and it showed. Today I succeeded in expressing myself, doing so with some new judo, and also in my head, because it's never easy to do back-to-back competitions. But I'm happy. It's done now. We'll look to the future. Today I had new opponents, apart from Kim in the final. It's important research for me to get hold of them, because I have a dream to go and get the gold medal in Rio. Let's see what happens. Now I need to work on groundwork, work on standing, work a bit on everything, because that will be the difference on the day. It will be the one who's worked the hardest. I can't let up.
Teddy Riner back to his very best, and who can stop him from getting that second consecutive gold medal at next year's Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. So that's it for this Jeju Grand Prix. Korea's men made full use of home advantage to show why they are considered one of the strongest teams in world judo. And for Riner, there was no surprises as he showed the world why he is in a league of his own. Join us next for the finale of the Asian Tour in judo's home nation, Japan, and its capital, Tokyo.